All right, John, so we just wrapped up the Roth IRA. We called that one the tax-free harvest. But today, we're flipping the script. We're talking about a completely different strategy. We're talking about the upfront win, the traditional IRA.
Exactly. So here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to nail down what that upfront win actually is. Then we'll get into the rules of the game. After that, and this is the important part, we'll talk about how to create what we call dry powder. From there, we'll dive into the long-term strategy, the tax arbitrage play, and then wrap it all up by looking beyond these accounts.
Okay, let's just jump right in. The whole idea, the entire philosophy behind a traditional IRA is getting that tax break right now. It's all about immediate relief, and man, it is a powerful tool when you use it the right way.
You know, this is really for the person who's looking at their tax bill for this year and just thinking, I need a break. I need some help right now. It's a direct answer to that immediate financial pressure.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about it. At its core, the government is literally giving you a discount on this year's taxes just for putting money away for your own future. You can almost think of it like a coupon, right? Hey, save 24% on your retirement savings today only.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here. You know, to play the game, you've got to know the rules. So let's look at the actual numbers for 2026. Okay, so for 2026, if you are under 50 years old, the absolute maximum you can put into a traditional IRA is $7,500, plain and simple.
And if you're 50 or older, they let you play a little catch-up. That limit gets a nice little bump up to $8,600. And that's key, right? They want to help you shovel more money in as you get closer to retirement.
And this is how it all works. That entire contribution, whether it's the $7,500 or the $8,600, it gets subtracted directly from your income for the year. So let's say you made $100,000. For tax purposes, it's like you only made $92,500. And that's huge because you're now paying tax on a smaller number, which means your tax bill goes down.
Okay, now we get to the fun part, the core strategy. See, this isn't just about saving a few bucks on your taxes. It's about what you do with those savings. It's all about creating dry powder. John, just think about the math for a second. If you're sitting in, say, the 24% tax bracket, which for a single person in 2026 is an income somewhere between about $100,000 and $190,000, if you max out your contribution, you're looking at an instant tax savings of $1,800. That's real cash back in your pocket.
And that's the whole point right there. That tax savings, it's not just a refund to go blow on something. No, for a smart investor, that is fresh capital. That is the dry powder we keep talking about, and it's ready to be put to work.
So what do you do with it? You deploy it. You use that extra cash, that dry powder, to buy more assets. For the people watching this, a perfect example is using that money to scoop up more of those corporate bonds we love. You're using a tax break to directly fuel the growth of your portfolio. It's just a fantastic virtuous cycle.
Okay, so we've got the upfront win, which is great. But every strategy has a trade-off, right? We have to talk about the long game here. Because the traditional IRA is really a bet on your future. It's what's called a tax arbitrage play. You're trying to profit from the difference between your tax rate today versus your tax rate down the road.
And here it is. Here's the catch. It is not a free lunch. You get that amazing break today, but you will pay regular income tax on every single dollar you pull out in retirement. That's on your contributions and all the growth.
And this slide just puts it all in perspective. The traditional IRA is the upfront win. You get the tax break today. The Roth IRA, like we talked about, is the tax-free harvest. You get tax-free money tomorrow. They're just two different tools designed for two very different jobs.
Right. So the whole strategy hinges on this one bet. You are betting that you will be in a lower tax bracket in retirement than you are right now, during your peak earning years. If you're in that 24% bracket now, but you think you'll be in the 12% bracket when you retire, you've won the game. You've successfully played tax arbitrage. But if you end up in a higher bracket later, well then, you lost that bet. All right, so we've covered the Roth, and now we've covered the traditional IRA. The best way to think about these accounts is as the foundational, defensive cornerstones of your financial plan. They are, quite literally, your shields.
That's the perfect way to put it. They are shields that protect your investments from the constant drag of taxes while they grow. That lets the magic of compounding really do its thing. They're just absolutely essential tools for building wealth. But of course, that leads us to the real question, doesn't it? A shield is only useful if you've got something to protect. So now that your shields are up,
What do you actually put inside of them?
And that is exactly where we're going next time. Because to understand what to buy, you first have to understand the battlefield itself. So next up, we are going all the way back to the beginning. We're doing a deep dive into the history of the stock market. We'll see you then.